Have you ever been asked to do something that's really hard to do, but you did that thing and then you learn from it? Well, today we're going to talk about a prophet from the scriptures named Moses who was able to do some things that the Lord asked him to do that seemed impossible, but he was willing to do it and he knew that with the Lord's help he could. So let's get to drawing. This is going to be fun. All right, so let's go ahead and start drawing this bush, which Moses saw. And we're going to start by one of my favorite things when drawing plans is to draw the number 11. So we're going to go figure out where halfway down your page is, and then maybe go even just a little bit lower and create 2 dots in the middle of the page. And that's going to be the top of where you're going to draw the stem for your burning bush. And then let's go ahead and draw straight down and make a really skinny, long number 11. And then if you want to, you can put a little bit of grass down there by it too. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so next what we want to do is we want to add a big old bush on here. And so you can make the bush whatever shape you want. It doesn't have to be the shape that I'm doing. You can pick whatever shape you like. I think I'm going to do kind of like a big circle here because that's pretty easy and fun to do. And sometimes I just really like how circles look. All right, so that's my bush. And now inside bushes, to make them all bushy, you have a lot of branches that go everywhere and they have leaves and stuff all over them to cover it so they can collect sunlight. So I'm just going to draw some branches in here. And this is just like drawing lowercase letter Y's. The fun thing is you can do letter Y's the way that they're supposed to go. And you can even do backwards letter Y's. But you can just put some letter Y's on here. And if you want to put an extra branch on one of these Y's, you can too. But it's just a fun way to create some branches inside this tree. Because sometimes you can see them through the leaves, depending on what kind of bush they are. When Moses saw this bush, he said that it appeared as if it was on fire. So we're going to draw some fire on top of this bush to make it look like it's really glowing. The Lord spoke to Moses through this bush. So I'm going to draw this fire, and you can just do zigzags up here. People draw fire in lots of different ways. If you've ever gone camping with your family, you've probably seen fire in all kinds of different shapes. It's a really fun thing to watch. So now up above this fire, we want to put little bits of fire that are going up into the air. And you can draw those in different shapes. I'm going to do mine kind of like little diamonds. So you can just draw those however you like. All right, so there is my burning bush. And now one of the really neat things when Moses went and saw the burning bush is that he heard the voice of the Lord speaking and asked him to remove the shoes from off of his feet. And back then he probably wore some sandals. So I am going to draw some sandals that Moses took off because he said it was a sacred place. And today we have sacred places too. We go to church and other places and the temples. The temples are very sacred. And so you didn't want to track in all the dirty stuff into a sacred place. And so that's probably one of the reasons why the Lord asked him to remove the shoes from his feet. So I am going to draw just a big oval on the ground for his shoe. This is an easy way to draw sandals. So I'm going to draw one big oval. And then above this one, we want to get both sandals. So I'm going to draw another oval, but I'm not going to draw the whole thing because it goes behind this one. So we're going to do that, draw an invisible line kind of. So I draw this oval, and then the rest of it, if you could see through the other sandal, would be right there. So that's where I'm going to stop at. So this is the bottom part of both of my sandals. And then I want to draw just another line that follows this line underneath them to kind of create the soles of the sandals. So you can just put those underneath it, just like that. So now it looks like we've got a pile of pancakes here, which that's okay. Sometimes when I draw things, people don't even know what I drew. Sometimes I just have to tell them what it is. But that's okay, I know what it is, and then I can tell them, and then I can also tell them the story about my drawing. So now I'm gonna put some straps on this sandal so that he can hold these sandals onto his feet. I don't know what his sandals look like, but this is how I'm gonna draw them. So I'm gonna create kind of a loop that kind of goes up from one side and ends down on the other side. And I wanna do 2 of them on my sandals. So I'm gonna do 1, I guess it almost looks like a candy cane there. Do 2 little loops. And then I'm gonna do it close to the end of the other sandal too. 1 loop, 2 loop. All right, there are Moses's sandals. All right, so let's go ahead and color this burning bush. And maybe we can talk a little bit about Moses. So Moses, he lived in Egypt. We're gonna draw this brown here on the stem. At one point, Moses was commanded to go and free the Lord's people, the children of Israel. And for Moses, this sounded like a really hard thing to do. I think it's often that prophets are asked to do things that are very difficult, but the Lord promises to help him. And I think Moses was probably asked to do some of the most miraculous things that we read about in the scriptures. And we're going to talk about some of the things he did. But first, let's color underneath here. Let's get this grass all green here. And you can just create a bunch of lines. Grass can be really messy and be lots of different colors. You can just color this in however you like. This is how I was going to color mine in. It's just fun to put some grass in there because then you can see where the ground is for this holy place. All right, and I'm gonna put that over here. And now I'm gonna do the fire first. Sometimes I like to do the lighter colors first, especially because we're gonna do something really cool here where we're gonna make it look kind of like the bush is glowing a little bit from all of the fire. So up at the top, near the top of your tree, just draw a half circle and leave a little bit of white space on this other side on the top part of it. Just like that. Kind of like a headband for your tree. Because this top part of the tree probably has some fire on it too, but you can kind of see through fire, so maybe you can still see parts of the top of the bush, and that's why I'm gonna do it like this. And I feel like it makes it look hotter, or like the bush is glowing. And then you can just go ahead and you can fill in this fire. And I think for Moses, this would be a miraculous thing to see. And the Lord commanded him to go and free the children of Israel. And if you've ever heard about Moses' stories, if you haven't, you should definitely ask your parents or other people that know about this story and let them tell you. But Moses had to do a lot of things that were considered miracles to help free the children of Israel. But Moses wasn't sure if he could do those things, but with encouragement from the Lord, he was able to do very miraculous things. And there's other prophets that did things like that too, like maybe you've heard of Nephi, who was asked to do some miraculous things, but he believed that he could do it if the Lord helped him. All right, so I am gonna go in here and I'm gonna color this bush in here. I'm gonna use a different color of green, a darker green for the bush, because it's fun to have different colors of green in your picture. And I'm just gonna fill this in. And so I'm really grateful that Moses decided to accept the mission that the Lord gave to him to go free his people. And he had to do some amazing things, like you may have heard of him parting the waters of the sea so that the children of Israel could escape from the Egyptians. And I don't think that's something that I could do, but I believe that if the Lord asked me to to do it, and he said that he would help me do it, I think that I could. I think that you could too. And if we had that kind of faith, like Moses did, then we could do some really great things and we could help a lot of people. And it would probably help people to see the love that the Lord has for us, because he wants to protect us and he wants us to be happy and he wants us to learn his gospel. And all those things that Moses did that seemed really hard, he was able to do because he was willing to do it when the Lord asked him. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to color in these sandals right here. And I'm just going to use brown again because he probably had maybe some brown leather sandals. And I think him taking off his sandals just showed the respect that he had for the Lord's house or for this sacred place where the Lord wanted to talk to him, because he loved the Lord and wanted to listen to him. So right there, that's my burning bush. I'm really excited to see what you guys have done. And I hope that we can always learn to listen to the Lord and think about the things that he wants us to, and then have the courage to go and do those things. And if we do, we're going to learn so much about the Lord. We're going to learn about how much he loves us, and we're going to be able to help other people in the process too, because maybe they can learn through our example, or maybe we can really help them in some way, just like Moses did. All right, so this is my burning bush. I want to show you some of the other burning bushes that other people did. Right here, I have this one, and the boy that I talked to, he said that it was a very windy day. So you can see that the bush is going off to the right and the fire coming off of it. And then we have this other one here. This one looks a lot like the one I did, which I think is fun. And you know, you've got the bush and you have got the sandals here. This is lovely. I've got this one right here. And what I like about this one is on the fire, you have different colors. And if you've seen campfires, there could be lots of different colors in the fire. So he's got red and he has orange in here. You can do whatever you want with your bush. Drawing pictures of these stories from the scriptures can be a fun way for us to learn and to remember the stories better. And I think this is a very special story about accepting challenges from the Lord, even if they sound difficult. Anyway, I had a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you guys during the next video. We'll see you later. Bye.